What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 2 of me practicing for the $500,000 tournament. In the last episode, we had some really good macro games. For today, I really want to practice my proxies. Now, RMMR is still around 6K. It should have been a little higher, but I played some games on stream and I played, how do I put this, sub-optimal. I say that because normally I play sub-optimal already, but I played sub-optimal, so I lost some more MMR. Anyway, let's begin. Right, game number 1 is against... Wait, Creed is normally a Terran player. Against Creed Zerg. All right, well, that's going to be an interesting one. Now, I said that I want to do some proxies today. I want to do kind of like, well, I guess uThermal style proxies. What that means is I don't really want to go for any hardcore all-ins, right? I don't want to just, proxy my entire base and have to finish the game really fast. I want to do the kind of proxies where I get a little bit of damage done and then I transition out of it to the macro game. That is the style that I used to really like. And, you know, it's not always the best way to play in tournaments, but it is good to have that in your arsenal pit to be able to switch it up, right? So I'm going to go for a proxy 2-rax. I do have to say, this makes a lot of sense to me, but proxy 2-rax has fallen out of the meta, I think. And I say that because I haven't seen a single proxy 2-rax in... I mean, I don't watch every single pro game anymore, but I watch like a decent amount now and then, especially the big tournaments. I haven't seen a single player do it. And there must be a reason for that. Now, I always thought this was one of the builds where it's good in like really high stakes matches because people are going to get nervous, right? And they might not micro their drones as well. But outside of that, in practice, it was not that great. So it made sense that it wasn't really that popular before. But now what I just thought of is that a lot of people are playing the build that I also copied a while ago with my Zerg, is where they go for a quick extractor trick. They get the hatchery really fast and also the links extra fast. And I kind of think that build should be an automatic win against proxy racks. I'm not 100% sure, though. We would have to run into it first to see if that is actually the case. But in my head, that should be a blind counter to the proxy rack. So unless I get something that, proves that it's still pretty good, I'm probably not going to be playing this in tournament. But who knows? Might always, be a good moment to pull it out. So the Overlord's going to scout me at a pretty normal time, I want to say. Like, it's not super fast. It's also not too late. Seems like pretty normal, actually. Hatchery timing seems standard as well. Now, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to build the bunker pretty far away to kind of bait him over here. It might be... Yeah, okay, he's going to pull too many drones from the start. Then I'm going to just fall back momentarily. This is still completely fine for me. Like, this is to be expected pretty much. Like, if you guys are wondering what it's supposed to look like, this is nothing crazy. Now, the bunker is going to be denied for a little bit. I might have to cancel it. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think I'll just go for the cancel here to make sure that I don't lose money. He's going to go for the spine hold. Do need to make a factory in the meantime. Right now, I already have too many Marines for the amount of drones that's here. And now the point is to just micro away from the Zerglings as much as I can. It is a couple more Zerglings than Marines, which is still going to be pretty good for me. I don't want to lose this SCV because that SCV, you can see he clicked on it. That's going to be the one making the bunker, right? So he is going to be able to kill that, I think. Yeah, he's going to go for it. Now he has the spine finishing. I'm going to make a bunker here. This is mostly just a bait. And then after this, I'm going to be transitioning already. So this is going to be a pretty good game to test how strong this build is, because I felt like I got a very medium amount of damage. Like, to be honest, this is the amount of damage that you could expect trying to do this build, I think. I feel like that sounds fair to say. So now we can see how good the build is going to be in the follow-up. Now, I'm going to make a reactor on this factory plus a starport. This is my favorite follow-up because it allows me to do a Hellion drop. So if this barracks scout... This is very important, by the way. I really love the barracks scout after these proxies. If the barracks scouts that there's no early gas on the Zerg side, that means there's no link speed, which is going to make Hellion drop stronger. If I see that there is enough gas mined, then we can decide to do something else. Like maybe either cancel the medevac and make a Liberator, or if it's in time, we can make the Liberator right away. It kind of depends on which gas he took, right? Like, I can't predict that in advance. It really depends on which gas he took here. Do think I'm gonna need another depot. Let's get you over here. Yes, I have to start 2 Hellions first anyway. Okay, so now we can see our opponent has enough gas. If you guys don't know, you can just click on the gas here, and normal gas has 2250, as you can see. So he mined 112 gas, which is enough for speed. So I think I'm gonna skip the medevac for this one. I wonder if I could delay... If my Hellions are in time, I could delay his base forever, by the way. Because the Hellions are going to stop the... Like, link surrounds are going to kill this pretty easily. But if 2 Hellions are there, that's already going to be significantly more difficult for that. Let me position my Marines so that if he does surround me, that he's not going to get as much surface area on the bunker right away, making it more likely that that survives. Now, I do think I want to go for a triple CC follow-up here. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that is what I want to go for. Okay, so he's probably gonna spook. Oh, I do. Probably should have kept one SCV there actually, so I could repair that forever. I thought he was gonna break it with links and not do it this slowly. But the spine crawler is going to do some damage. I can out-micro the spine crawler. If you guys have never seen this, it's pretty cool. You can just do this in between the shots of the spine. The problem is that it's not going to... Wait, he might be just right-clicking. No, okay, he was... I thought he was maybe just right-clicked on the bunker there. Okay, now he's going to break it, but I have the Hellions in position. This is really nice. Maybe I can salvage the bunker, actually. Win a little bit of money back. There we go. Bunker is going to be salvaged. I'm going to be able to start my third command center, and we still have a decent delay here. But I've never had the situation before, I think, where I'm going to be able to siege the Liberator in front and kind of delay this even more. Yeah, I could probably snipe that creep tumor. That'd be quite nice. There we go. Gonna get that one. And this one probably? Yeah, okay, this is really nice. No creep, no fun for the Zerg, unless you're me, I suppose. If you guys have watched my Zerg videos, that's probably pretty funny to hear me say that out of all the people. But Zerg generally does want the creep, guys. Maybe not if you're me, but otherwise Zerg does like to have a little bit of creep. Got a nice shot there. Now, I don't have anything to scout with. Like, I could scout with the Liberator. All right, that's the thing. I could totally scout with the Liberator here. I think I need to know if it's a Nidus or not. Like, this delaying stuff is really good. But I also need to keep in mind that at this point of the game, I would consider myself to be a little ahead because I have my third base on the way already. And the Zerg doesn't. So I'm just going to use this as a scout. It's easy to forget that you can do things like that, right? Because it's an harassment unit, but I can indeed just use that to scout. Do want to keep my Hellions together with the Marines. So there's no lair yet. That's a really, really big tell for us. That's going to make me... Actually, I only think... what the hell was... Did you guys see that? Why did the SCV not just go in? What the hell was that? That looks so freaking weird. I do have my Hellions here anyway, so there's nothing to worry about. But that really confused me there for a second. All right, now I'm going to scout again with this one. Probably land this on location right away. I think that's going to make this game a little more comfortable, at least in terms of economy. I'm kind of heading towards a 1-1 timing here. It's always good to kind of assess, you know, at what part of the game you really want to hit your attack. Like, you want to, you know, calculate all of your advantages and stuff. And here, because my opponent has a lot of units out now, but he doesn't have the third yet, that means my 1-1 timing should be hitting very hard. Maybe hard enough that he can't hold that. Let's see. Third base is about halfway now. Mine is already finished. Zerg should always be massively ahead in that regard, by the way. So the fact that it looks like this, that is obviously very, very good for me. My saturation hasn't been perfect, or well, I should say my saturation micro. Like, I kept having like one SCV off in the main, one SCV off in the natural. I think that all just comes with me being a little rusty more than anything else, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's, you know, something to worry about. Pretty good creature shred by him, I have to say. I think I'm going to have to... Yeah, I do think I want to launch a depot. It's not necessarily the best to launch depots for the supply blocks, but here, since I want to hit a really strong 1-1 timing attack, I think it's worth it. I'm even considering doing something a little unusual and making a couple extra Liberators instead of more medevacs, just so my, you know, my push is really going to hit as hard as possible. I do feel like that would put me in a... Yeah, too bad position for the macro game, I think. Because if I do that, I'm not going to be able to afford 2-2, etc. Now, if you want to hit a timing attack, you do always want to go before, you know, the timing is actually ready, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to move out with your 1-1 finishing. You want to move out before. Oh, I'm going to kill a lot of links for those Hellions. I really like that, actually, because that's going to make my Marine count snowball a little more. Gonna make 2 extra barracks. Now, those barracks are a little late. Those are all the things that I sacrificed to get this timing rolling up a little faster, a little stronger. Liberator is gonna be doing a decent job defending me. Let's see. I'm gonna scan. There's keep in mind, guys, his lair was late. I don't think he can actually have bailing speed. Okay, these tank shells are gonna be freaking disgusting. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that really hurts. I think I can just slowly creep up here. He probably lost most of his Zerglings already, to be fair. Gonna start a 4th command center here and a bunker for future run-bys. That's gonna be very nice to have. Let's see, 1-1 has to be started. That's a little... Oh, this position is sick, actually. I didn't even see this before. Guys, oh my goodness, this looks crazy. I need to be careful to not get overconfident here, because I could get surrounded like very hard by Zerglings. Really happy with that Liberator right about now, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna drop some Marines over here. My Marines are gonna do fine on the defense. I didn't cancel that base, which is a slight mistake, but to be honest, this was still all in all a really good trade for me. Get a couple of reactors over here, more depots as well. Every time he wants to attack, it's going to be incredibly painful for him. I mean, those tank shells are just going to go ham. I don't think he's even going to break this, guys. Yeah, he's not going to break this. That tank shell hit really hard. He killed a couple tanks, but that's going to be it. And to be honest, a very clean TVZ, I have to say. Now, I do want to check what the position of the game was, because sometimes my opponent maybe didn't have the exact right response. Maybe he could have been doing a little bit of a better job there. So if you look at purely the units, this game doesn't look that good, okay? So that's something we have to be honest about. There's 5 queens. I mean, this one is 1 second away from finishing. 5 queens, 4 more drones, and 26 links against 4 Hellions. Like, the unit count looks really good for him. The main difference is that there's no third hatch here. So I'm going to skip forward just a little bit, maybe to like 6:30. Yeah, that seems about right. So we can see the true situation. Yeah, so it seems like, check this out, right? My opponent had 42 Zerglings. There is no reason he needed that many Zerglings. He could have had 10 more drones here. And if there were 10 more drones, I would say the situation looks pretty decent. I mean, the evolution chambers are going to be slightly delayed. The lair is slightly delayed. So I'm going to say that we were slightly ahead here. I really don't think we were as far ahead as we looked. But anyway, that's a fantastic warm-up game. Let's go to game number 2. All right, the second game is going to be against Mix. All right, I think it's been a while since I've played against him, actually. He's about a 5.5k Grandmaster random player. There you go. I used to play a little bit of backstory here. I used to play Counter-Strike with this guy like 10 years ago. Like, literally, we used to have these. This was like at the start of my pro gaming years. We used to have these. What was it? No, it wasn't this. I was going to say Discord. No, it was Skype. Back then we used Skype calls. We had a Skype group where we just see like me and a bunch of the English people, the English StarCraft people. We play some ladder games, and then at like midnight we would switch to Counter-Strike and play until like 5 a.m. or something. That's pretty much what I remember from all that. So it was pretty good times. Now let's see. I want to go for a Proxy Reaper here. But I'm sending my SCV in a very obvious path. Exactly. Okay, that's really good. I sent it in a very obvious path because I needed to know if he was Zerg or not, because Proxy 1-Rack Reaper doesn't work against Zerg. Against Terran, it's kind of a new cheese that has been invented, I want to say. Against Protoss, it's pretty decent. But yeah, that is kind of a downside of playing against a Zerg here. So we're not going to be able to test our proxies this game, but that's all right. We can just, you know, adapt a little bit, play something else like a little cheesy to stay in the theme of the episode and kind of sharpen our cheeses. Now, I would maybe I would like to go. Here's the thing, right? You guys know I'm playing like a little more try-hard, trying to get like a little bit of extra practice in for the tournament, but I still like to stay true, you know, to my challenges a little bit. And I don't mean that I'm necessarily going to follow a challenge, but if I can sneak a challenge build in there that I think is like genuinely good, I would. And the first thing that came to mind is playing the Penguin Brothers timing attack against Zerg, because I think it is very, very strong. Penguin Brothers against Zerg, really strong, unless you play against Roaches. If you play against Roaches, it's definitely a little weaker. Oh, that's good that I just thought of that though, just now, because Roaches have been a little more popular among good Zerg players. The best Zerg player in the world, Cero, likes to play Roaches a lot against Terran. At least from what I remember. I didn't see his recent couple of matches against Clem, but before that, I know that he really liked playing Roaches, so it is... You know, if I see that that's a trend on the ladder as well, I have to keep that in mind and maybe not go for the Penguin Brothers. But, like I said, there's always a time. You know, even if a strategy might be, quote-unquote, bad in the meta, there are still going to be games where it would be really good to use. So if you can find those games, you're still going to find gold, right? So I guess we'll see. Now, I'm not quite sure if I should be... Oh, I didn't place that barracks properly. I'm not quite sure, by the way, if I can read the hatchery timings from that 15 hatch build with my SCV Scout. I mean, this game definitely not, because I SCV Scouted way faster than normal. And I have no idea what the hatchery is supposed to look like. Oh, can I target that? Oh, no. I attack like the backside of the queen instead. It's pretty hard to target. The queen is thick, okay? Like, it's really hard to target a creep tumor that's under there. Now, I wonder if my attack is going to be like too delayed from the suboptimal opener that I had, where I kind of went for a way too early SCV Scout, hoping my opponent wasn't Zerg. But sadly, I did lose a little bit of time and money there. I think I'm just gonna go for it anyway. If at some point I get a feeling that it might not work, I can always switch it up a little bit. Did you guys know? I definitely, you know, told this story before at some point, but initially I invented the Penguin Brothers build, like this double reactor kind of style, to be a very versatile opening against Zerg. Because if you think about it, something you can do, right? You could make, instead of 2 Vikings from the reactor, I could make... maybe I should explain what the Penguin Brothers is first for the people that don't know. Penguin Brothers is basically just a mass Viking Hellbat timing attack, okay? But what you can also do if you have the reactor is make one Viking and one Liberator. And as soon as the Zerg sees your Viking attack their Overlord, they're not going to think of a Liberator because it was clearly a Viking first. So there's definitely some potential in, you know, kind of mixing up the strategies here a little bit. Okay, that Overlord Scout is a little too early for my taste. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go for that Viking Liberator strategy. Maybe... It's just... I'm not quite sure. I don't know how active Mix has been. So I don't know if he's going to be aware of what the hell the Penguin Brothers are. Because maybe I could go with the timing attack anyway. That's the thing. Oh, that's a really good hit there. He's going to try to surround me, but he's going to lose a couple of Zerglings for that, so that's great. Okay, so now he's going to see the Viking. He's not going to see the Liberator. Yeah, I really... Wait, actually, I want to make concussor cells there. I really wonder if I could still go for it. The Penguin Brothers with a Liberator. Like, slightly delayed, but still powerful. I mean, if you guys are questioning me transitioning all the time here, let me tell you the truth about a lot of amazing builds that have been figured out in pro games, is that very often they are figured out on accident. Like, people do a build wrong or they autopilot a strategy they didn't want to do, and then they have to do a weird transition, and voila, they have the meta build of 2017 or whatever, you know? Like, it actually happens, trust me. So, who knows? Maybe this is an absolute vibe. I'm going to make a couple more Vikings. I think I am going to make the armory. I didn't want to commit 100%, but at this point, I do think we are in the territory where I should be committing. Yeah, I'll just go across with everything. I'm gonna make a third behind it. Let's see, I feel like that Liberator will spot it, right? I saw like an Overlord there, though it was just a little bit of a blip. And let's see, there is a Spore Crawler, but it's in the mineral line. I have to say that's a little bit of questionable Spore Crawler positioning, because he saw I didn't have a tech lab on the starport, so it couldn't have been anything that he needed that in the mineral line for. And this is what I was kind of expecting here. Our opponent doesn't seem to be prepared for this strategy whatsoever. Here we go. I'm going to be able to kill a bunch of those queens already straight from the get-go, which is really nice. I think I can still barely save. This is going to be a tight one, though. I don't have the armory yet, I believe, but it is about to finish. Before I commit fully, I do need to make sure that it is finished. Okay, there we go. So I can get my Hellbats going. And now, actually, I'm going to make double engineering bay first. I'm going to do a little bit of an old school follow-up here. I think that could be cool. Let's see. I know there's a lot of bailings, but these Hellbats are in a great position here. Look at these. Okay, he did a pretty good job microing them, but still not the most efficient trade ever for him. I'm going to lose a lot of these Vikings. Oh, it sucks that my Hellbats weren't... I guess I didn't F2 enough because my Hellbats didn't reinforce there. That could have been a better fight for sure. All in all, I would say it was okay. It was not a great fight, but it was okay. I think that's fair to say. Now, these Vikings are going to keep doing a lot of damage, guys. They're not being targeted by the queens, not even that red one. I got a Marauder coming up on the follow-up as well. Good target fire there by him. He did get that eventually. Gonna make sure I get that Baneling. My transition back at home is really not bad. I got 5 barracks. Can I save that Marauder? Probably barely. I mean, if I can get that queen... Oh, the queen with the slow. Dude, the slow on the Marauders is so good. I feel like I'm doing a lot of freaking damage with this. My macro has definitely slipped a significant amount. Oh, I don't have a camera hotkey. That's why. I feel like why I was feeling so awkward to macro, but I was missing a camera hotkey there on my third base. Probably because I was planning to do like some kind of absurd proxy. Oh, I still have slow on the... Guys, as long as this Marauder lives, I can keep catching the queens over and over. Like, they can't run away from the slow. Look at this. It's freaking beautiful. Oh, I do need to keep these together so my Viking doesn't get obliterated by a couple Zerglings in the back. These Hellbats killing a couple more of the units as well, which is really nice. And that is finally going to be it for the attack. Okay, so how much damage did we do? It's hard to say, to be honest. I mean, I have 61 SCVs, by the way. I know this is kind of like, it gives the vibes of a really all-in timing attack, but I have 60 SCVs as well. My opponent has 4 bases. His upgrades should be better than mine, but he doesn't have a lot of queens left. It's really not easy to figure out who really is on top here, guys. Now, I could make a couple Liberators, actually. I kind of like that idea. How's the upgrades looking? Yeah, I don't have to start too soon. Maybe a couple Liberators would be a good idea here. Just try to get some extra harassment in. Never really want to leave your opponent alone if you can. If I was him, I would probably be droning. Now the attack is finally officially over. So I'm going to try to sneak in a couple of Hellions over there. Go for some Widow Mines. 4 CC is on the way already. And all in all, this was pretty successful. Though I have to say, it was... You know, we needed a little bit of luck there. Like, it wasn't... I didn't look like something that I could do super consistently, I think. Oh, there is a couple Zerglings here. Then maybe I'm going to try to sneak away with just 3 Hellions. Good positioning on the Queens there. Please go on the inside there, Mr. SCV. You're mining incredibly inefficiently. And I think my follow-up is just going to be pretty... Oh, I don't have to make an armor, by the way. That's great. I always forget about that, so it's good that I saw the armory there. If you do a helmet attack, it's one of the most common mistakes that you can make is to still make an armory for your 2-2, because you just forget that you already have it from that attack. Now, I did forget what I was talking about, so that is a slight downside of that realization, but I guess it is what it is. Now, wait, these medevacs are probably not... Oh, I need to make turrets ASAP, actually, because those mutas are going to be difficult to deal with otherwise. I do think I'm going to go for it. Like, keep in mind, I do have the Liberators on the way as well, which is going to make this a lot stronger of an attack. Like, it's going to be a really nice double-prong attack here. There we go. I don't think he has too many Banelings. Yeah, he has a couple of Banelings, but not that many. I'm really happy to see that he backed off. Like, that is awesome for me. I do think I might be getting surrounded by Banelings soon, so for that reason, I'm going to try to micro the Banelings or the Widow Mines. Oh, it actually worked there. I got a decent shot, a little bit of splash damage. Yo, these Liberators are going absolutely ham, though. Almost 20 kills combined on those Libs, so that was definitely a really good move there. Good distraction. And we got out with the units, which is perhaps the most important. Now, let's not forget to make drilling claws. My SCV count is freaking fantastic, by the way. Almost 80 SCVs, guys. That's beautiful. I could use a couple more in the main, though. I guess I've just been making like too many buildings and shift-clicking them to the next page. Now let's get +2 started. Those Widowmines are still alive, which is great. I can probably kill 2 if I retarget them perfectly. Oh, almost. That was a 1 HP one. Now, okay, against Mutas, the course of action is... I actually find Mutas one of the most difficult units to play against, but the way that you're supposed to play is not super complicated, if that makes sense. You are not supposed to do any big drops, but single drops are really good. You're just kind of supposed to try and get to the late game, make some more Marauders so you don't get A-moved by just a swarm of Banelings, get some Thors out, and then when you're maxed, you want to attack. And the most important thing is that you don't take damage from Ling run-bys and stuff too often, because Ling run-bys can really mess you up in this playstyle. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here and move all my Widow Mines over there. Going to send this drop into the natural, I think. I do need those Widow Mines later, but not yet. So I'm just going to put them in a position where they can shoot down the mutas. This is an accidental medevac, but I guess it's a nice scout at the same time, right? I mean, I got to see that 6th base, which is great. I do think putting a little bit of pressure on would be quite nice. Maybe I can start killing those rocks already. I want to make sure that I keep expanding as well. Like, I don't want to die to one Ling run-by killing, you know, or like a Baneling run-by, rather, killing my 4th base and then me not having any economy left. Okay, probably stim my Marines on that. If he's not paying attention, he could lose a couple mutas there. I kind of like these trades, actually. I feel like as long as he's killing Marines and not my economy, I'm always going to be decently happy. Now, his army is pretty massive, so that is going to be a little scary for us, but I still think we're in a decent enough position here. I do wish that we had 2-2. Fighting this without 2-2 is a little questionable. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should be making some more Liberators. I know mutas are going to be pretty decent against them, but they're also not going to, you know, crush them under the Thors, I want to say. Let's see. Oh, he's probably trying to bait the Widow Mine shots. It kind of looks like he was gearing up for a big A move there, right? Like a huge concave kind of thing. Let's see if I can send some units back to deal with this. This is always the most difficult part of playing against mutas. Like stuff like this, it's yeah, it's very tough to deal with, especially when the muta count gets high. You can probably save this Thor actually with some good medevac micro. There we go. We killed the base in the meantime. And you can tell how hard it is for me to balance this, right? Like, I need to defend, but at the same time... oh, there's a lot of units there. Probably save these, though. This should be fine still. Keep in mind, I still have the Widow Mines on top. Okay, I can probably save these as well, as long as I don't misclick over there. There we go. The Banelings are gone now. The Links are pretty much dead already. He's losing a couple of mutas here, which is great. That kind of looks like it's going to be a big attack. I'm going to send one more drop on the right side. At least it's going to be a good distraction. Yo, these killed a lot of units, by the way. Those are high kill counts on those. I'm going to get this down. Start 3-3 as well. Now, this is definitely, you know, testing my rustiness a little bit here. Like a good old Mutalist TVZ. One of the hardest things to play mechanically, I think. Now, as long as the splits are good, I think we're always going to be pretty happy with small trades. I don't think I really want to step on the creep, though. I feel like stepping on the creep would be a bit of a potential disaster. Now, let's start going for some Marauders. I don't know exactly. He's counterattacking with the mutas, but he has a lot of them. So I kind of think his army might be relatively small at the same time. Like, I have 3 Thors. I don't want to... Okay, he's there with the mutas. That's nice to see. Yeah, I don't think I want to step on creep. I feel like if I step on creep, the fights might end up being a little too inefficient, which I definitely don't want to have happen. I like how these medevacs are just chilling there, healing my like one freaking marine. Get him, Thor. You can do it. Oh, no, the Widowmines are a little too high. Oh, that's unfortunate for us. That could have been freaking beautiful if they were there. The Thor is absolutely popping. Oh, he's going to fly in them anyway. No, he didn't see them. There we go. Going to kill a good amount of these. Now, I think... I can... No, my army is a little too small here. Like, I don't think I want to. I still have a couple of Widowmines, though. Like, the Widowmines are going to be able to do a good job. The Thors are soaking so many freaking bailing hits as well. Gonna try to split every Marine on just one of them. Yo, these units are actually trading super efficient. Like, oh my goodness. I have enough Thors left. He's even gonna struggle with the Mutas. Let's see if I can pick them up. I still have Widowmines here, by the way, so I can even pick them up and send them to the Widowmines. And this fight, I think, is gonna be the one that seals the deal. Like, we split every unit on just one single one. And now if we look at the supply, we have 190, which is definitely more than a Zerg wants to see. If he looks at the replay, he definitely doesn't want me to be at almost a 200 supply after a big fight like that. Now, since I have a lot of Widowmines, I'm going to start burrowing them. Oh, that is a little unfortunate for me. I'm going to start burrowing them a little longer in advance. I feel like that trade could still be somewhat okay. Like, it's not going to be great, but it's going to be somewhat okay. Here we go. I don't want to lose all of these Widowmines to just a couple. Yeah, I mean, in the end, he doesn't really have that many mutas left there, right? That Widowmine was a really nice shot. And I feel like since there's not that many mutas, maybe I can even start split pushing to the top as well. I got a nice setup down here. My 3-3 should be about to finish. I don't think he has that much Ling Bane anymore, which is a pretty big deal. Let's see, what's the upgrades on that? He has 2 upgrades, so my upgrades are about to catch up. Do I have... I don't... Well, I do have concussive cells, actually. For some reason, it kind of sounds like I'm used to forgetting it, right? Because I saw that I had it, and then I still was like, no, I'm not going to have it. There we go. Make sure to split every unit on just one. Micro the Thor's back against the Mutas. Look how much damage this Thor is doing just because I'm microing it all the way back with the medevac. Still have a couple units here. He is going to win out on the fight barely, but once again... Probably not quite good enough. He did lose a base for that. I'm just going to stim these in advance and try to run all the way over there. Make sure to build turrets here for a next planetary. This store is still... Wait, can I get some good shots? I feel like I can get another Muta if I microed. Well, there we go. We did get another one. Here we go. Oh, he's already mining from this too. So he's not just going to lose the base. He's also going to lose the drones. I think one Widowmine shot will probably do... Oh, no. I was a little too greedy there. I was trying to get it to be all perfect. Wasn't necessary. Going to move these Widowmines over there. It's really nice that I still had a couple of those. To at least keep vision on that and kind of deny that extra base for a while. Now, my opponent does have a lot of mutas, and I don't have a lot of Thors. I'm misclicking again. I don't have a lot of Thors right now, so I think I want to fall back momentarily. Oh, that Widowmine doing a pretty good job there. I think it would be nice for me to make a couple orbitals as well. I've been focusing on just making planetaries, but I feel like a couple orbitals could be nice. I'm going to do one more drop on the right side and then send the rest over to the left. Gonna look back in time to not lose that orbital building, because that would be a little annoying. Probably lifted it off a little too late. Or is it a perfect bait? Maybe it was the perfect bait. Look at that. That's beautiful. Let's see. Oh, not quite in time. I could have maybe ambushed him with these Widowmines, but it's not going to happen. Now, making some more SCVs. I did low-key lose a couple more SCVs than I thought, so my SCV count wasn't looking super hot. Going to get a nice drop over here, which is mostly going to be a fantastic bait to get all of his units over, and it's going to allow me to deny the base on the bottom side once again. Maybe even both bases, if I'm fast enough. Well, I think I might have gotten it. Don't have to in the end, and there we go. 185 against 98 supply. And this game, I have to say, was surprisingly good. Like, I don't think it was my best game ever. Definitely not. Like, maybe I think definitely in the macro part. I feel like strategically and maybe micro-wise, it was not as good as it could have been, but it was really good enough. Like, I'm not going to complain about the way I played out the strategy or the way I microed. Like, especially the micro, I think, was pretty clean. The macro, especially early on, was not that good. You can kind of expect that when you're doing a new build, though. Like, when you're doing a new build, you're never quite going to have the follow-ups in time. But it really could have been a lot better. Saturation was a little messy. Barracks and eBase were a little bit late. Didn't really transition over my add-ons, though that kind of worked out later. But all in all, pretty good game. Like, I'm actually quite happy with this. I'm not quite sure if I'm a fan of the build because my opponent wasn't prepared at all and it still ended up becoming kind of a banger. Ideally, you do want to smash these games a little harder, but it was a really nice TVZ. Let's go to game number 3. Right, game number 3 is against a Protoss player. All right, what should we do in TVP? I definitely want to go for a proxy. Which proxy I want to do, I'm not quite sure. mean, I'm definitely going to open with a Proxy Reaper. I mean, this is kind of... I used to have so many builds that started with a Proxy Reaper that it's almost hard to decide which ones I really want to try. I kind of had in my head that we would get a lot of Protoss players today and I would try like all of them or like a couple, right? But then we ended up getting a couple Zerg players and this is our first Protoss. So I think one build that I really want to try, but I'll have to look up the VOD of me doing it a while ago, is the Proxy Reaper into Fast Expand. Because most of the time we do a Proxy Reaper, pretty much every time anyone does a Proxy Reaper, they'll go for a fast factory behind it. The follow-ups can differ from there, but that's, you know, what the initial follow-up is at least. So what I thought is I could go for a Proxy Reaper with one gas and then just expand behind it, and that is a very cool strategy. Now, I don't think I want to try it yet. I do have to admit that this is a build which you have to study your opponents for a little bit, because if you want to go for a fast expand, a really good follow-up is to go for a 3 racks. Like, it actually flows pretty well. I've tested it. But that is mostly good against Stargate. So you would have to play against someone that you know plays Stargate in response to a Proxy Reaper. Pretty much, right? Which back then I did. I mean, in a qualifier like the one that's coming up, I have no idea who I'm going to play against. Also, I did think of something that is going to work against me a little bit, and that is that I have 0 points in the circuit. So I'm going to have the hardest possible bracket. Like, I'm literally going to be like the lowest seed in the freaking bracket. So, you know, that's going to be slightly challenging to say the least. No, wait, he's not... I was actually going to build a bunker between his mineral line, but doesn't seem like he's trying to expand very early at all. I could turn this into an engineering bay block. Maybe that's not even a crazy idea, because he's... I mean, if he doesn't want to take it. I did see a probe leaving. I don't know where the hell it was going. Could have also been a zealot, by the way. I saw it on the minimap. I mean, if I don't have to waste money on building something there, then I won't. Let's see, I think I'm just going to go inside the main base with my SCV. Yeah, I think I'll just save money on it, because why not? Let's see, there's a couple pylons in there, which looks kind of weird. Going to be able to kill one probe already if I target fire correctly. There we go. Maybe another one as well. The SCV is on the hunt. Look at the SCV go. I think we're probably getting like counter cheese of some sort. I can't really tell you guys what's going on yet, but I feel like we're getting attacked by something. So I'm just going to go for a starport and... oh, there's a probe there. I'm just going to go for a starport and a cyclone. Like, he should have expanded. Against Proxy Reaper, there's no, you know, reason to really give up your natural. Like, you can just take it and play the game from there. So either he was really afraid of something that was not going on, which could be a mind game in and of itself, or he's doing something cheesy himself, right? So I guess we're going to find out which one of the two it is. I was tempted to go for a 2 cyclone drop. I really... what the hell is this? This is a wall off. Am I just going to... huh? Why are we... I've never seen someone try that before. That is very funny. I mean, I'm going to knock the unit out of his wall and I'm going to get some more pros. But it was a really cool idea. I did enjoy it. It's really funny. I could have run away with both of the Reapers and then he would have lost. But I figured the Stalkers would just be in his main base. Yeah. I mean, really cool play. Didn't work out for him, unfortunately, because this Reaper now has 5 probe kills, which is not something you want to see. But, oh, I thought I might be able to get away with it. Now, I'm going to be a little greedy here, and I'm going to try to go for a tank. It's just, he is doing something to attack me. I want to guess it is probably a robo. But if I get this Cyclone drop in his main, that's effectively going to be a checkmate move. I do want to say that this is the kind of game that you can usually expect from me in TVP. Not necessarily a proxy opener, but I just like to make things weird and chaotic early on. Like, I don't really like the normal way to play TVP. It's funny, someone commented on my first video, like, how can you be afraid of Protoss? EMP just counters Protoss. Like, I don't like playing against Protoss in normal games. I absolutely do not. They are freaking terrifying to go up against. So I'm going to use my chaotic style instead. No, let's see. I'll just patrol that over here. These kill probes really fast now, by the way. Like, they were really buffed against probes specifically. And there we go. GG is called. I want to guess his Stalkers are... oh, they were just a little further away. Okay, not that far. And this game... oh, by the way, that's actually a mistake by me. It didn't end up happening in this game, but I should have thought about the gold bases. This is one thing that I'm not completely natural with the new maps yet, but this map does have like these this is like a half gold base, I guess you could put it. So I should have checked that. As soon as I didn't see a natural, which is weird, I should have checked the gold. Now, at this game, I can very clearly tell that my opponent was just too scared. He was playing way too defensive, and I think kind of makes sense. Like, I had to queue for this game a little bit. He was about 1,000 MMR below me in low Grandmaster. So, he was just, not playing perfectly, but this game he was definitely way too scared. I was really thinking we were about to get 4-gate robot, but it turns out he was just putting himself really far behind by being scared. Something that you need to keep in mind is it's possible that he got like proxy 2 racks marauders before this, so he was like, okay, I'm not gonna die to this crap again. I'm gonna defend really hard, and then he plays against my normal proxy reaper. I do really like this follow-up. I don't think this is a good idea against Stargate because of Phoenixes, but this is a follow-up that could totally work. Like, this might be another follow-up that I have to the proxy reaper, which is great. For now, this was a really nice episode. I think we had about 30-35 minutes of awesome games, learned a decent amount of things. I do think I learned more in the first episode. I feel like the games in this episode, it sounds silly, but I really feel this way. The games were a little bit too one-sided. Like, I won a little too easily for the most part. So I wasn't able to learn as much, but I was able to unrust a little bit in the macro pattern. So that is still going to be great for now. It's going to be it. Hope you guys had a fantastic time. If you did, make sure to give a video a like, subscribe to the channel, and then see you all for the next one. Adios.